welcome back to another episode of our life seasons where we talk about the different seasons of life and how we grow through it. I'm your host Wen, and as per usual, be sure to stick till the end for a little bonus. If you have been loving the podcast episodes, do leave a review of this podcast on whichever platform that you're on and let me know which topics are your favorites, okay? How time flies. I'm recording this on the 31st of January. And by the time you're listening to this, it will be February. So happy February. Remember those New Year, New You resolutions that you made entering this year, that we made entering this year? The ones with, big dreams and even bigger ambitions? Well, guess what? The 2024 trial run is officially over, okay? January has passed, which means it is time for you to stop wishing for things to happen for you. Wishing for the sudden surge of motivation or carry the hopes that you somehow eventually get to your desires and start taking the action to actually step up and make this year your year. Start making your desires a non-negotiable, okay? And this is what this whole episode is all about. I know life happens, maybe you haven't quite hit the ground running, easing into this year still, or maybe those resolutions got tucked away with the holiday decorations, which I hope you have actually kept them, but I know some people still keep them up. Just like, your resolutions. It's never too late to step into your new kick-ass self. Let this year be the year that you change, okay? Let this episode help you ditch the snooze button on your life. And what better way to start by breaking your subconscious habit with a question? Yes, a question right off the bat. I want to give you straight up, okay? Like I said, our life seasons is not about sugarcoating and beating around the bush. I'm not about, trying to motivate you and ease into things by sugarcoating stuff. I'm all about giving it to you straight, the rawest version of life. And that is what we are all about. So I want you to ask yourself right now, whatever that you're doing today, right now at this moment, is it something that you want to be doing in the next 3 years or even till next year? I want you to pause this podcast now and take a moment to really think about it, okay? Because this is a really important question. So let me repeat the question. Whatever that you're doing today or right now at this moment, is it something that you want to be doing for the next 3 years or even till next year? Think about it. If your answer is a no, you don't want to be continue doing whatever it is that you're doing right now in the near future, then let this be an episode that shifts something in you to make this year your best year yet. The year where you'll be looking back and be so amazed by how much you have grown and achieved. Because let me tell you, this was me last year, okay, in 2023, and it feels goddamn exhilarating. I'm not even joking when I say last year was the toughest but also the most fulfilling year yet. I'm living out my life purpose, which is to speak about self-help and just talk about life. Hence this podcast. I've manifested so many things, and even the ones that were not on my list of manifestations, which I like to think of them as a reward from the universe for me getting my ass up and starting to take action, making my desires a non-negotiable, okay? That is what I get. And I want you to feel this excitement of life too. Just this pure pride of how things are so much, better for you, how you're so capable of accomplishing everything that you ever desire in a year, simply because you're not only deserving of it, but also you know that it's made possible for you, okay? And guess what? Like I said in a lot of my episodes, you are the common denominator for everything that happens in your life, okay? The common denominator is you. So have you ever sat and think about, this current version of you, like what he or she looks like? I'm not talking about appearance, I'm talking about attitude towards life, choice of words, the way you treat others, the way you are living your life, the things that you are doing on a day-to-day basis. These are what makes up you, and this version of you has actually led you to become who you are today, both your achievements and your room for improvements, okay? If you have not thought about it, I want you to take the time to think of ways in which this current version of you has been holding you back from your desires. Is it letting the fear of judgment stop you from putting yourself out there? Even though your deepest desire is to be a content creator? Is it letting the fear of failure stop you from starting that business, even though you have had countless dreams of how fulfilling it feels like to finally have something you call yours? Is it letting insecurity eat into your confidence and so you start hiding behind someone else's shadow and is too afraid to be your true self even though you know you're such a ball of sunshine? Is it letting the fear of rejection stop you from even trying to apply for that job even though you know you have so much to offer? Who is this current version of you that is talking to you when you want to take action? Is it the high school insecure self? Is it the college self? Is it the fearful working adult? Who is holding you back? Remember, it's you against you and no one else, okay? The common denominator to life is you, your mindset, your words, the perspective you have on life. Perhaps this version of you say something like, I wish my luck is better this year. And people, let me tell you this, I hear this every single goddamn year of people hoping and wishing that this year is their year, that they can be finally lucky for once. We look at our zodiac signs or even look at astrology, hoping that we can seek some answers from that, hoping that it'll tell us that, oh, this is your lucky year, your best year yet. I'm not shaming anyone, okay, because I'm guilty of this too. But if you're an Our Life Seasons listener, I want you to start understanding that luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Luck is not something that you wish upon or we don't have control over, okay? Which means you actually need to prepare yourself mentally and physically to grab onto any opportunities and then take action. Luck will then start coming and knocking on your door, okay? Because when you decide that this year is your year, your lucky year, not because someone else tells you that, but because you choose for it to be, you will find open inverted luck, opportunities, miracles, growth every single year. Because luck is only given to people who take a chance on themselves, who open themselves up for receiving and allow luck to even be possible. Yes, I know some years may have more obstacles, but that doesn't mean you're unlucky, okay? It's just the duality of life. It's the good and bad, right? Don't allow this one particular thing or one particular obstacle to make you feel like the entire year is just an unlucky year. Because like I said a lot of times, whatever that you focus on grows. If you think that this year is your unlucky year just because of that one particular thing, no matter how much impact it has on your life, is determining that your whole entire year is unlucky, then guess what? Your life will really be unlucky because you're only gonna focus on the things that is going wrong in your life, okay? So don't attach any meaning to it, and it shall not have power over how your year is gonna turn out. Because let me tell you, the amount of obstacles and downsides that I had last year was insane. But my upsides and my open inverted luck was actually better last year as compared to any other years out there. Last year was my best year yet. So stop trying to depend on anyone else to tell you whether or not you'll be lucky this year, and choose that this year will be your lucky year, regardless, because you choose to stop taking the backseat in life and start taking actions towards your desires, okay? Now, let's flip the script. What version do you have to become to be able to own the things that you own and to have the desires that you desire, to live out your desires? This version is what I like to call your favorite self or your higher self, whichever floats your boat, okay? Find this version of you and your current self that goes against all these desires will quieten down because you now make decisions from your favorite self, from your higher self. I want you to visualize yourself stepping into this favorite self of yours and then this more wiser version of yourself, and use your intuition and imagination, okay? How would he or she show up? How does he or she speak to others and to herself or himself? What is his or her reaction when things don't go your way? How would this version of you show up for your desires every single day? I want you to know something. This version of you, the higher version of you, the wiser version of you, the one that you just imagine is already within you. It's not someone that you have to find or create. It's a version of you that is simply within you. You just have to simply step into it and embody him or her right now. Yes, this moment, by simply deciding. We make decisions every single day, every minute and every second of our lives, whether you notice it or not. Some decisions are made based on our habits and some we take time to ponder upon. Wanna know something? The life-changing decisions are not the ones we take time to think about, even though we assume that, the longer we take to make each decision, the more life-changing that decision is. But I want to let you in on a secret. You ready? The most important decisions that we make are the decisions that we make on the subconscious level. The decisions that we make without hesitations because it has become a habit. The decisions that we don't need to second guess and we simply decide because it becomes our second nature. It just seems familiar. But the question is, are these subconscious decisions actually helping you get closer to where you want to be? This is a gold question, okay? If you're not happy with where you are now or where you have been, your current life, chances are these subconscious decisions are what's holding you back from living out your desires or even taking action. Okay, one example is the decision of letting your desires to be just a good to have. That's why your desires are constantly bugging you. That's why you're still not satisfied with your current reality. That's why you find yourself wandering into the land of dreams but not seeing it manifesting into your current reality. That's why every single year you feel like it's the same. It's like you're an NPC, a non-player character, like the ones in the games, right? Constantly feeling like you're not able to make your own choices and it's living against your own free will. You hate your job, you gossip or complain about others with others. Every single day feels the same and you hate everything in your life. You find it hard to find things to be grateful for. And this happens when you let your subconscious decisions run your life and not take the time to be aware and to question if it's actually helping you grow. Because chances are they are actually not, okay? That's why you're still so upset with your life. If you feel like you're being called out, it's totally okay, alright? Now that you know that your subconscious decisions are made clear to you, it means that you can make today the day you start living consciously to bring your desires to the forefront and make it a non-negotiable, okay? Simply decide that you want to change out of this version of you and let the actions present itself to you with guidance from the universe. And most importantly, make it a non-negotiable. I can't stress this enough. Make your desires a non-negotiable because oftentimes we are creating more excuses than you think. Again, because your subconscious decisions, okay, you say things like, I'll skip it just this once, or maybe tomorrow will be better, maybe I just need to rest one day, maybe it will happen someday. All these maybes and tomorrows are excuses, like it or not. And we already know what I say about tomorrows and maybes. They will never happen, okay? It is just a way for us to comfort and make peace with ourselves. And maybe, just maybe, that tomorrow and maybes do happen. But it is not gonna be consistent in your life. So make your desires a non-negotiable. Like a 9 to 5, right? No matter how much it seems like a chore, we get up and we go to work. We be on time. We show up for it because we don't give ourselves any other options. We don't have any other options. It's our livelihood. It's the same as why you find yourself being able to wake up and be on time for work even though you slept late the night before. Yes, you can say that you're held accountable by your colleagues, your bosses, or even yourself. Whether it is forceful or not, the end goal has been achieved, and that is to get to work on time. And all of this are made possible because you made it a non-negotiable. Then my question to you now is, why can't you do it for your desires? Why can't you make your desires a non-negotiable? Why can't you show up for your desires? And speaking of being held accountable, find an accountability partner, okay? My dog keeps me accountable. He will start barking at exactly 6 a.m. in the morning, the time that I usually have to wake up to get on with my morning routine and the time that I also feed him. And since then, every single morning, he has been my alarm clock, okay? If you don't have a dog or you don't have anyone that you can think of, then you're looking at your new accountability partner. It's me. Yes, me. Drop me an email at ourlifeseasons@gmail.com or DM me accountable with your goals for 2024 and you got it. I'm gonna be your accountability partner, okay? I'm gonna keep you accountable because that's what we do as our Life Seasons family. So, for my OLS Inner Circle, you guys should have received this week's email where we talked about stepping into your new self and you would receive the free journal template as well as part of the goal setting activity. So for those of you who want this template, all you gotta do is to click on the first link below in the description box and be part of our circle and let's keep each other accountable, okay? It's completely free. With that said, know that you are your best accountability partner when you decide to honor your words. No one can actually keep you accountable the best way that you can keep yourself accountable for, okay? So you are your best accountability partner. Like successful entrepreneurs, whatever your definition is of successful entrepreneurs, doesn't have to be financially rich, yeah? Are the most disciplined people that I've ever seen, okay? They show up for their business every single day, waking up every day and show up for their business with zero excuses because they said that they would, and they honor their word because they make it a non-negotiable. By now, you should get the gist of this episode, okay? Let me tell you, I came up with this podcast idea at 5 in the morning because I was struggling to wake up to this lifestyle that I committed to having, right? I'm not saying that you have to wake up at 5 a.m. This is just my story of how, I want to make waking up at 5 a.m. a non-negotiable for me. Not gonna lie, I was so tired one day. I was always having this mental debate with myself at the start when the alarm rings, and this is how the conversation goes exactly, okay? Just 5 more minutes. Should I skip today and do it tomorrow instead? But there's no tomorrow. If I don't get up, I'm going to feel bad and spiral into negativity later part of the day. How bad do I want this? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm up. The thing about this conversation is that I could have just skipped the whole entire first few seconds and jumped straight into the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 part. And this is the 5-second rule from Mel Robbins, okay? The book from Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule. Give it a read if you're struggling to take action because honestly, it has really helped me to just take action and just go. So the whole purpose of me sharing this is to tell you that all it takes is for you to start making your desires a non-negotiable. Get up and jump straight into action. Don't let yourself have the time to talk yourself out of it because then it is the mind that is talking and not the heart that is leading, okay? So please, no more excuses. Your excuses are so overrated. It's 2024. Come on, we can do better than that. The more you allow yourself to come up with excuses, the more you'll be in your comfort zone. Get over the decision paralysis or analysis paralysis by simply deciding that anything that is getting you to your desires are a non-negotiable and start taking action. Anything that is important to you, make it important. And important things are a non-negotiable, okay? Like your job is a non-negotiable, not because you like it, but because it supports you financially. It's your livelihood. That's why you make it a non-negotiable. It's a do or die. So simply decide. Decide that this is your life. Decide that this is the year of growth and watch yourself become the best version of you. Decide that this year you're finally going to put yourself first and watch you transform into this confident, badass queen or king. Decide that you're no longer going to give others the power over your emotions and watch yourself take back control of your life and go into peace and solitude. Be unbothered. Decide that this year you're going to love the shit out of yourself and not settle for the bare minimum and blossom into this favorite self that is gleaming with joy and the one who enjoys your own company. Decide to make peace with fears. Learn to walk with it and watch yourself become unstoppable. Chasing after any inkling that you have, following every sign from the universe. Decide to release control and watch yourself turn into this powerful magnet for all that you've ever desired. You are in flow, you allow the universe to take over, to watch miracles happen for you every single day at every moment. Decide that this year is the year you stop waiting for someone or something and start living out your desires. This year is your year if you let it be, okay? Now that the whole motivational part is done and said, I want to set some expectations. Like I said, I want to be honest with you guys, and it's all about the honest truth here. I'm not about to paint this wonderful picture and make it look easy. When I say simply decide that it's a non-negotiable, I know it may sound easy, and I'm not trying to make it sound easy because it is not. Whoever tells you that growth is easy or achieving anything that you ever desire is easy is lying in your face, okay? I've seen people online painting out this perfect picture of how their life is when they simply decide to change. But by now, you should know that you can't trust anything and everything you see online. People tend to only show you the good side of things or the celebrations after their challenges because it is what people like to see, what we like to see. We live vicariously through people, and this is the reason why contents like that go viral. But they leave the most important part out, and the part where it's a tough journey for tough people only, okay? If Like, this is the huge celebration, and it is a big thing because of all the tears that has been shed. Countless of sleepless nights worrying if they're ever gonna make it. They don't show you this part. What people fail to tell you is that this journey of making your desires a non-negotiable and going all in on making this year your year of growth and massive change is messy and ugly, but it's also the most beautiful mess that you'll ever experience because the end result is really rewarding. But first, you gotta ride this crazy wave, okay? To get to where you want to be, to get to this beautiful part of the life, you have to ride the crazy wave, and it doesn't stop there, okay? New level, new devil. You'll always be faced with obstacles. So it's not easy. Matter of fact, there will be days where you feel like giving up because you don't see results. There will be days where you simply just don't feel like it. These emotions will always be there, okay? You can't avoid it. But know that especially on days like that is where you remind yourself of why you desire what you desire, and get yourself to step out of your comfort zone and stop all the excuses. You progress forward and you get closer to your goals, okay? Do not expect it to be easy because it is not easy. Don't expect it to be a cakewalk. Expect it to be hard because your desires come with its own obstacles. Like every growth you'll ever experience comes with its own discomfort, okay? And if you've listened to episode 30 of on letting go of control, you will know that obstacles are a constant in life. There won't be a point whereby you come into a point where in life where you just feel like, everything is sunshine and rainbows and you enjoy life, that you don't have any obstacles to face. No, okay? Obstacles are a constant. Now, a common misconception that we have is that which also runs by our subconscious mind is that we think that we need to believe in ourselves first before taking action. But it's actually quite the opposite. Start before you believe. Take actions first. You can't be looking for evidence that you have yet given yourself an opportunity to make it an evidence. Okay, let me repeat it. You can't be looking for evidence that you have yet given yourself an opportunity to make it an evidence. So for something to eventually become an evidence, right, that you can refer to and boost your confidence that you're capable of achieving whatever you set your mind to, you got to start taking the action first, and then the belief comes after. The only time that these tough times gets better is when you choose to drown it with actions and not let the mind get in the way. Let the heart lead instead. And that brings me to the very next thing, okay? The very key to living out your desires is not talent, neither is it hard work. Yes, while all these are important, the first thing you need is the 3 important Ds in your life: discipline, drive, and determination, which in short translates to grit. Like I said, the journey is not an easy one, so having grit really does help. Take the risk and the universe will reward you. Let me ask you, how far are you willing to go for your desires? If you're constantly giving in to your excuses, think of it this way, right? Every time that you settle for less, you stay put. I know some of you may think that, you get further away from your goals, but that's not true. You just stay put. Think of the actions as a rope, right, that you have to tug on. And this rope is tied to a pot of gold, which represents your desires, either your business, keeping to your workout routine, or getting into the habit of meditating, etc. Anything that you are trying to achieve in this point of time is represented by this pot of gold, and it's a very heavy pot of gold. So the more you pull the rope, which is taking actions, the closer that pot of gold is to you, okay, which is all your desires coming into your life. But the moment you stop pulling and start coming up with excuses, the goal remains at the same spot. It doesn't move further away from you, it's just there. But the moment you decide to give up and sit down wishing upon that the universe is gonna give you something's magically gonna start happening and gonna come to you, or someone is gonna help you tug the rope for you, someone's gonna do the work for you to get your desires closer to you, to get the pot of gold closer to you, that pot of gold will never arrive in front of you, okay? Because if you're constantly expecting someone to do things for you, to make things happen for you, it's not gonna happen. Nothing's ever gonna happen for you because you are the common denominator of life, okay? I don't know about you, but every single time that I find myself coming up with excuses, and trust me, they can really get convincing and creative to not do the things that I said I was gonna do, I think of this example, this pot and go example, and it helps to shift my mindset from execution. From excuses to execution, okay? Now, here's the thing about your desires. I want you to know this very important thing about desires, okay? Your desires are your desires for a reason. They have found you for a reason. They want you to bring it into reality because they believe in your capability, in what you have deep within. They see the potential you don't see in yourself. And that is the universe sending you a nudge to tell you, hey, you're meant for more. But we often sit on our desires and put it aside, hoping that all this will go away, or maybe hope that we will get tired of it and perhaps not desire it anymore, which is often not the case because our desires only get stronger. If you don't hold on to your desires or execute it or even give a damn about it, it will find someone else who is willing to put in the work and give them the attention that they need, okay? Just like humans, your desires crave for humans' attention, for someone's attention, and that chosen one is you. It wants your undivided attention. It wants your love. It chooses you to bring it to life, but not for long though. If you don't act on it and it's just sitting around for too long, it will go find someone else. It's like a relationship, right? We talked about knowing your worth in last week's episode on meeting you is a privilege, in episode 32. So your desires will go find someone that knows how to cherish it enough to bring it to life if you don't, okay? Just like how you will find someone else, or you will eventually, and I hope you will eventually find someone that is willing to put you as a priority. That is what your desires are doing, okay? So that's why you might find someone or even yourself saying things like, I had the same idea, if only I did XYZ, yeah? So act on it. That's why you'll see that the people who are successful, you'll find that they have an idea that they never let go of it. They never give up on the idea, on that desire. So there's no reason why the desires would give up on them, and together they make such a great team, okay? As long as you're willing to put in the work towards your desires, it will never leave you. These quote-unquote successful people have grit, and that is exactly why the desires wants to be birthed through them, okay? Something that we don't do enough is validating our desires. We don't believe in us enough. You don't believe in you enough. Simply decide that you deserve more, and so you get more. That is the law of attraction. Whatever you focus on, you attract more of. Whatever you spend your attention on will grow, okay? Now, before going in blindly with, making your desires a non-negotiable, I want you to look into your desires and ask yourself if it is still something that you desire, because this is honestly very, very important, okay? This is very important because we oftentimes hold on to something that no longer serves us just because we are comfortable being in our comfort zone. And when change happens, it means we are stepping outside of our comfort zone and into the unknown, which will then instill a lot of fear in you, which is completely normal, right? It is important to know that it's okay if you decide that your desires are not your desires anymore, after sitting with yourself and tapping with your intuition, and you decide to move on from it. You save time and energy on blaming yourself for not taking action and feeling guilty, okay? When you decide that when you come to accept that it's not a desire that you want anymore, you save a lot of time and energy, okay, on beating yourself up and the whole self-doubt journey. So the big question now is, how would you know if your desires are not aligned anymore, other than tapping into your intuition? So here are some signs, okay? There are 4 signs. 1, the very obvious one is thinking about your desires brings you more stress than excitement. Number 2, you dread taking action, and you dread on just the thought about it, and it's not from laziness. You know it's not laziness. Number 3, you are justifying holding on to this desire simply because you don't like the idea of giving up on something, and you have been told to not give up halfway. Number 4, you don't see yourself doing it full-time for the next 5 years. It's not aligning with your bigger life purpose and who you envision your most fulfilled self to be, okay? If any of these signs, just any one of these signs rings a bell, then there you have it. It's time for you to start looking for a new desire. There's nothing wrong with thinking that you desire certain things and then finding out that you actually outgrew it, or it's simply something that it doesn't align with you anymore. Because like I said, time and time again, as we grow in life, as we grow through life, certain things might not be what we want anymore, right? What we think we want, it might not be that case anymore. And we outgrow a lot of things, and it's okay to outgrow things. There's no shame in it, okay? So the key here is to keep moving. As long as you take action, no matter how big or small it is, you will definitely be closer to your dreams. I promise you that, okay? Acknowledge and move on. the more you try to make it work without being aligned with your desires, the more pain you actually inflict on yourself. So yes, it's not always about the hustle mentality and the push mentality, but more of tapping into your intuition, checking in with your intuition, and check if your desires are still your desires and decide from there. Okay, if it's still something that you very much desire, then you should not have any excuse of taking inspired actions. Baby steps are better than not taking any action at all. Okay, so like every episode, I'm gonna leave you with this. When you make something a non-negotiable, you leave no room for debate, for doubt, for failure, because you simply choose to decide that your desires are a non-negotiable. You step into your favorite self and start taking action from there. And before you know it, you're so much closer to living out your desires than a few months, few weeks, few years back, okay? You live life the best way possible. The best case scenario always happens for you, and not because you stop facing obstacles, but because you learn how to navigate through it. Simply decide to let this year be your year, a year where you stop negotiating with your desires and jump straight into action. And this will be the year of growth for you, okay? Because honestly, I can't stress this enough. When you decide that this year is your year, the year for growth, the year that you're gonna be different, the year that you want to be different, to finally step into the version of you that can bring you to your desires, this year will be a year that you look back and you'll be so glad that you made this decision. Okay, I know this very well because this is so fresh to me. It was me last year, and going into 2024, I feel so much more fulfilled. I feel so much more happy and so hopeful for the things that are about to happen for me, for the obstacles that I'm about to face. Yeah, I do get excited about that. Okay, so that's all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And again, if you have any burning questions or topics that you want me to cover, please feel free to drop me a DM on Instagram at our live seasons, or comment on whichever platform that you're on, and I'll be sure to get back to you on it. Alright, so I'll see you in the next episode.